I am Dr. Robin Harris. I'm the Interim Associate Dean for Academic Affairs at the Sinclair School of Nursing. Welcome to this celebration of Dean Judith Fitzgerald Miller and her work here at the Sinclair School of Nursing for the past 9.5 years. Before some brief comments from some of our esteemed guests, I want to recognize some special attendees who are present. When I call your name, if you could please raise your hand or wave so that you can be recognized. Chancellor Alex Cartwright. There he is, right in the middle. Thank you. The MU Chancellor. Brady Deaton. He's our past MU Chancellor, and his wife, Ann Deaton, who has a courtesy appointment at our school. Brian Foster, past Provost, who hired Dean Miller. Thank you. And we also have present with us today some School of Nursing Development Board members. Millie Brown from Kansas City, Richard Miller and Mary Baker from Columbia, and Karen Ellman and Lisa Picone from St. Louis. So thank you so much to all of you for joining us. Other special guests will be recognized by Dean Miller during her remarks. It is my pleasure to first introduce the Executive Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs and Provost at the University of Missouri, Dr. Garnet Stokes. Dr. Stokes has served as our Provost since February 2015. Dr. Stokes.
Oh, good afternoon, everyone. Robin, I thank you for that introduction. I look around at this room and wow, this is the crowd that Dr. Judith Fitzgerald Miller deserves in recognition of everything she's done. It is just a pleasure to be here this afternoon and to be here with all of you because it is just an honor to think about Dr. Miller's accomplishments. And I'm afraid my speech is going to go a little long and it's going to be a little serious. The humor comes after me, just so you know, and the speeches are shorter. So I have the highest regard for Dr. Miller as a colleague, as a friend, and my pleasure in being here is tinged with a little bit of sadness because what I know is that the Sinclair School of Nursing will proceed without the exceptional leadership of Dr. Miller that she has so consistently provided. Of course, the school will continue with its incredible top quality research, teaching, and service. I mean, the school is full of amazing talent among the faculty, the staff, and the students, and the other administrators who are so exceptional in what they do for MU. But I know that success will continue, but I also know it's just not going to be the same. Dr. Miller has led the nursing school since 2008. At the time that she came on, there was the sole doctoral program that we had was the PhD. And not only has the enrollment in that program increased by 30%, but there's been an additional doctoral program launched in 2010, the Doctor of Nursing Practice. Currently, there are 207 students enrolled in that program. That's amazing. A third program was added in 2012, the Nursing Leadership Innovation in Healthcare. And all total during Dr. Miller's tenure, enrollment in all programs increased by 439 students. Not only did she expand options for students, she expanded access to those options. Under her leadership, all the graduate programs were put online. And the addition of that online coursework has been a blessing for students who need the flexibility in earning their degrees. It had a byproduct of bringing some additional revenue to the School of Nursing as well, which leads me to another one of Dr. Miller's great talents, which is finding new sources of revenue to benefit the school and the people that are in it. Her efforts in this area have supported improvements like upgrades to classrooms and development of a high-tech room. They've enabled students and faculty to participate in regional and national conferences. And to help meet unknown future needs, Dr. Miller's work in selling acreage for Sinclair Farms has resulted in millions of dollars that will be available for designated uses. Altogether, in her 9+ years as dean, she has generated more than $15 million in development funds. That's an incredible accomplishment. It's outstanding, and it's due to her really, really exceptionally hard work. which included writing multiple grants and as many as 30 donor proposals every single year. Dean Miller exponentially increased membership in the nursing school's gifting organization, the Nightingale Society. She uncovered hundreds of new donors and other friends for the Sinclair School of Nursing. In short, she's leaving the school very well prepared for a highly successful future. And this is really no surprise to me, because strategically facing the future is another of her strengths. Time and again, Dr. Miller has led strategic efforts in various parts of the university, whether it's developing a new strategic plan for the School of Nursing, whether it's chairing search committees for new deans, or presenting on management practices at leadership retreats. It is no wonder, in ranking America's most influential nursing school deans, Momatrek's test preparation featured her in their top 30. In fact, from a pool of more than 900 deans, she was listed as number 17. Another of Dean Miller's outstanding accomplishments during her time has been to increase diversity inclusion in the Sinclair School of Nursing. She expanded diversity among faculty and staff. She provided diversity programming, including training on subjects such as unconscious bias and microaggressions. She initiated a faculty and staff diversity task force, and her efforts weren't limited to just faculty and staff. The Greg and Diane Lind Endowment was initiated and completed under her leadership, and she hired a full-time diversity recruitment and retention academic advisor and supported various student committees to help create a culture of inclusive excellence in the Sinclair School. So again, it came as no surprise earlier this year when Dr. Miller was featured by Ingram's magazine as one of 50 Missourians you should know. I'm sure the nursing faculty members, staff members, and students who've crossed her path have been exceedingly glad to know her. And she purposely made herself available to people. She was having donuts with the dean through celebrations of faculty and staff accomplishments in other venues. Certainly the people of the Sinclair School of Nursing hold Dr. Miller in very high regard. If you've been around MU for any length of time, you've probably heard about the Coach Survey, which measures faculty satisfaction, covering several different dimensions of faculty work satisfaction. This survey was administered twice during Dean Miller's time, and both times in 7 different dimensions, the Sinclair School of Nursing had higher measures of faculty satisfaction than any other school or college on our campus. They came in second on 3 additional dimensions. Is this because their nursing faculty are just happier than others, or it's a remarkable thing? You know, the other deans are in envy. They're trying to figure out what to do. So I could go on and on listing Dr. Miller's successes, and we'd be here a long time. I told you mine would be the longest speech, but I'll say that all my years serving in this role, working with deans, I don't think I've ever seen a dean who was such a passionate advocate for a school. It is a remarkable thing to witness, I can tell you, and it's been a joy to work with her. So I will say, Dr. Miller, Judy, we're in your debt. You have helped the Sinclair School of Nursing reach incredible new heights, and you will be so very missed. I know everyone here will join me in saying, we wish you the best. You deserve an incredible future, and on behalf of the University of Missouri, I want to say thank you for everything you've done. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Ken Dean is well known to all at MU due to his over 40-year relationship with this university as a faculty member in the law school, deputy provost, interim provost, and lastly, interim dean of the law school. Dr. Miller reported to Ken Dean during his years as an interim provost here. I invite Dr. Ken Dean to the podium.
Well, the provost said her remarks are going to be the longest. I'm not sure that's true, Judy. It's going to take me quite a while to go through this. I just want to say that having worked with Judy during the past 9+ years in a variety of roles in the provost's office and as a fellow dean, I want to highlight some of her traits. The provost talked about some of her accomplishments. I want to talk about some of her traits that have led her to her numerous successes. Now, those traits are, I'm not going to list some of them, Judy, but some of those traits that have caused her to be successful are: she's forward-thinking and strategic. She's thorough. She is persistent. She is collegial, straightforward, and mostly transparent. And last but not least, she is a caring and kind individual. See, those are good traits, Judy. I promise not to mention some of the others. These have made her incredibly effective as a dean. Let's look at each one of them just a little bit. And the provost has mentioned some of her successes. After Judy arrived here, she implemented the new Doctor of Nursing practice program. Shortly after that, all of the other graduate programs were put online, as well as some of them also being taught face-to-face, and they have grown exponentially. As the provost mentioned, there are over 200 students in the DNP program alone right now. She expanded the RN to BSN program. So for those of you who don't know, nurses can get an RN without having a degree, but there's been a real movement to move them forward so that they can get BSNs, bachelor's degrees. And our program has grown substantially under Judy's leadership. As the provost mentioned, she has enhanced diversity, and she has also embarked on a new building program plan. Not yet to fruition, but working on it, Judy. She's expanded the research opportunities for her faculty and students and support for the faculty. She has also continued the national attention for the School of Nursing, and that's important. Our School of Nursing has, in spite of its size, one of the best national reputations out there, and that's due in large part to what Judy has done, but giving credit where credit is due, Judy came into a very good program, a program that Rose Porter had built, and she has made it even better through her efforts, and that's no small feat, Judy. Now, I could go on, mainly because Judy has supplied me with a very lengthy list of accomplishments. And that's related to the next trait that I want to mention: thoroughness. Apparently, each year, Judy sets some specific goals and sub-goals for herself and the School of Law. I have seen the what did I say? It was you. It was, yes, okay. Okay, aside from those that you set from the School of Law, she set them for the School of Nursing. I've seen this list for 2016-17, which is built on 5 specific goals and 49 sub-goals. Well, 2016-17, that fiscal year period is over, so she graded herself on those achievements and gave herself a pretty good grade, I'll have to say. It was also an accurate assessment. The grade was right, Judy. I've now seen her new list for 2017-18. It has 7 specific goals. Judy's definitely leaving a blueprint for her successor. By the way, I noticed this trait of thoroughness very early on with Judy. We had an event at my house And she had a glass of white wine that she really liked. Several days later, she came up to me and said, "Ken, I tried to reach you, but I couldn't. When I went to the store to look for that wine, I knew it had the word creek in it. So I just bought a bottle of every white wine that had the word creek in it." Now, that demonstrates her thoroughness. A little overboard. And we've had several good laughs, many times, about her penchant for creek wines. Did I mention earlier that Judy is persistent? It is related to thoroughness. We can be thorough in our planning and our goal setting, but we have to be persistent if we want to successfully implement our plans and achieve our goals. Judy is persistent. Her persistence also relates generally to her advocacy. She has been an effective advocate for her school, her students, her staff, her faculty, and her goals. Perhaps I should say that she is relentless. That's just another form of persistence. Judy doesn't like no for an answer. But to her credit, she works to find a solution that will perhaps allow the answer to become yes instead of no. We also see the interplay of thoroughness and persistence with her other traits of collegiality, straightforwardness, and transparency. Judy has always been positive in her relations with the campus administration. I had to deal with you a lot, Judy. And her fellow deans. She is assertive without being aggressive. There are no hidden agendas with Judy, although there are lots of agendas. You always know where Judy stands. She's sought out collaboration where the benefits flow to all parties involved. We have seen those collaborations with other schools and colleges on campus, and they have been very effective. However, she never loses sight of her advocacy for the School of Nursing. She wants and has wanted to make sure that the school has a voice, particularly in matters related to healthcare, but also in other issues on campus. She was effective and has been effective because of her pleasant, collegial, but persistent approach. I could always count on receiving thorough, accurate information from Judy, and it was always clear that what she wanted: more money for the School of Nursing. No, I'm just joking a bit. It wasn't always that, Judy. Judy knew all the deans dealt with similar issues, so she would work with them and the campus administration in a collaborative and collegial manner to address the issues that we all face on campus and at the university. Last, but certainly not least, is Judy's caring and kindness. Judy once said that she had learned at least 3 things from her father: openness, kindness, and inclusivity. She learned those values very well. Every action she has taken, from her weekly communications to faculty, staff, and students, to her continuing efforts to embrace inclusivity, demonstrate the regular modeling of those values learned from her father. She is an incredibly kind individual who cares deeply about her school, including the students, faculty, staff, and alumni. Don't forget that alumni. And her fellow deans in the campus. She is a good friend to all. In conclusion, Judy, it has been an incredible pleasure and honor, and mostly fun, working with you over the past 9 years. You leave a wonderful legacy for your successor, and you leave the School of Nursing and the campus a better place because of you. I will miss you and your friendship.
Dr. Vicki Kahn is the Associate Dean for Research at the Sinclair School of Nursing and has provided support for the tremendous success of our programs of funded research. It is largely due to Vicki's mentorship of faculty that we have achieved outstanding scores on academic analytics. Dr. Khan.
Good news. If you can write a grant in 6 pages, you can do a lot of things in just a few words. Judy arrived in 2008. Anybody remember 2008? Between the time when she interviewed and when she arrived, the economy went straight downhill. Judy interviewed with Provost Brian Foster as the person she would be reporting to. Between the time when she interviewed and when she arrived, the university used a consulting group to reorganize the health center. The name of the group was the Pitts Group. That really was their name, the Pitts Group. You would think consultants could come up with a better name. But by the time Judy arrived, she had a new reporting arrangement because we had a new vice chancellor for health affairs. So how did Judy cope with these two challenges that were immediate, that she had to deal with? The same way she always copes. Earnest, hard work, creative problem solving, and always intent on moving the School of Nursing forward, always about forward movement. Judy's worked well with faculty, staff, and students for remarkable achievements during her time as dean at the School of Nursing. And I want to mention just 4 themes that I think characterize her achievements and our achievements while we worked with her. The first theme is about constantly moving forward. Judy does not sit still. Judy is not interested in the status quo. She's interested in what's next. What can we do that would be better? What could move our school forward? And so she was always focused on that. The DNP program has been mentioned. I would add that that program was started without any new resources from campus. She figured out a way to start that program without new resources. Our PhD program has been mentioned. When Judy arrived, we weren't even admitting students every year. That's how much we were struggling. We now have a very vigorous program, including T32 funding for our students. Distance education has been mentioned. That is an incredible feat of access for students across Missouri, across the nation, and including our students who actually reside in other countries. She's constantly looking for new programs. She's constantly encouraging faculty to think creatively. What kind of program could meet societal needs and be fiscally responsible, of course? The second theme is that Judy has really embraced Mizzou. She's really looked for opportunities that are Mizzou specific and that could build us into a better university as well as a better School of Nursing. She recognized the importance of AAU status for the university and has been very supportive of our research mission. As previously mentioned, our academic analytics scores are just stellar under her leadership. She's also strongly endorsed interprofessional education and interdisciplinary research. The third theme I would mention is fiscal stability. She recognized the importance of putting us in a good fiscal position from the beginning. She was our first dean to go after and succeed in obtaining supplemental fees for our students and our programs, and that's been very, very important to us. Sinclair Farms has been mentioned. Sinclair Farms, I think, was put in our development pot, I think, about 30 years ago, but she is the dean who moved it forward so that the properties are actually being sold so that our students and our faculty can benefit from that. And very importantly, she's developed hundreds of new friends for the School of Nursing. Now, I would like to say that was all about helping the School of Nursing, but the truth is, Judy loves people. She loves being connected to people. She loves having friends. And so she's been very active in developing those friends for us. The fourth theme has been mentioned here, advocacy. I guess the only thing I need to remind you is if you've spent 5 minutes with Judy Miller, you have heard advocacy for the School of Nursing. Thank you, Dean Judith Fitzgerald Miller, for your incredible commitment to the School of Nursing.
Thank you. I also want to take just a moment to recognize that we also have some other special guests in the audience with us, and Mike and Julie Middleton. I just want to make sure that Judy had seen them here as well. So thank you so much for being here. Dr. David Kurpius is the Dean of MU's Journalism School. David joined MU 2 years ago, coming from Louisiana State University. His journalism background is in broadcast. As a Dean colleague, he provides leadership for the university's academic initiatives. Dr. Kurpius.
You should be nervous, Judy. For the crowd, one page. So I figured, being at this point of the program, that kind of all the things that Judy sent us to say would be said. And since I'm a journalist and not a public relations practitioner, I don't have to follow the exact script that you sent me. So I'm going to go off script, Judy. Sorry about that. So I thought that maybe I'd go through the top 10 things that I thought were important to know about Dean Judith Miller. So I really appreciated her. She welcomed me to campus when I showed up, showed really warm and great hospitality, and it was all of a way to get her ready for me to say nice things as she exits. So I appreciate that welcome. I'm not sure it worked. She was known for developing these new in-depth strategic plans for the School of Nursing, and she's now creating a strategic plan for retirement. It's just how Judy works, but it's a warning to her daughters and grandkids of what's about to come. She raised $15 million for the School of Nursing, and she's donated all of those donors to the School of Journalism. That's actually an inside joke, right, Wendy Evans? We've been teasing back and forth for years. Not to worry, nursing folks. She's adamant about staying true to the cause. Judy worked tirelessly to upgrade the facilities at the School of Nursing, including new high-tech classrooms, which you heard about, which enhance the quality of work. But in retirement, she thought that she needed to continue to do these upgrades of facilities. And so she thought she would miss the construction workers around. And so she told me that she's renovated half of her home in Wauwatosa. And when they told her that mid-December was the timing for getting it done, she said that wasn't acceptable. And from what I hear, it got done before Thanksgiving. It's just a testament to her tenacity. Let's just say she can keep a deadline. She moved nursing programs online, which is fantastic, but I've just recently figured out why this is. I mean, let's all face it, she's gonna fail retirement. She can't sit still. She's gonna fail retirement. And so with online courses in the middle of those Wisconsin winters, and I lived in Madison, Wisconsin, I know what 30 below looks like, you could teach online for us. It was really smart. So Judy has been a phenomenal supporter of Mizzou and Mizzou athletics, and as she transitions back to Wisconsin, she's likely to go to Camp Randall Stadium at the University of Wisconsin, and she might cheer on Bucky Badger a little bit, but more likely she's going to be at Lambeau Field, because as you can see today, she wore her Packer green and gold. But as a fellow Wisconsin graduate and a big Green Bay Packers fan, I understand this, and I'm actually okay with that, but don't forget that your favorite Tigers are the Mizzou Tigers, and that I'm expecting those tickets to go to a Packer game at Lambeau. Dean Miller was known for showing up for everything to support other programs on campus. I mean, she really was a determined person and showed great support to other deans and other programs. In fact, she attended many of the School of Journalism functions, including our Missouri Honor Medals banquet. But I just want you to know, Judy, in retirement, the free meals are over. She worked really well with other deans on campus to move priorities forward, and she's really worked hard on her own priorities. In fact, when I came here in July 2015, she was the third longest serving dean on this campus. It was also in the notes that she provided me. Now she's the top dean, and when she departs us in December, amazingly, I will be the third longest serving dean on campus. So I'm just taking over your spot. And I promise to greet the new people well. When she took over the school in 2008, 2009, she says she didn't know where it ranked. That was actually in the notes. She didn't know where it ranked. But we all know now that the School of Nursing, in a large part to your leadership and the fantastic faculty and staff and students who you have brought here and you have mentored, that this school ranks #1, and that's an amazing accomplishment. And finally, it's been said before, but I think it's worth saying again. So Dean Judy ranked 17th out of the 900 nursing deans in the country. And I think it's clear that that's an amazing accomplishment. But what I want you to know is that you rank #1 in our hearts and that you will be dearly missed. And I hope that since you've been such a great servant to the School of Nursing and to this university, that you will come back, visit us often, keep in touch, and that you will always have a knowledge that you're hold a great place in our hearts and that you will be missed and that we really hope the best for you as you take on these new adventures. So we'll miss you greatly. And congratulations on what I hope will be a fantastic retirement.
Dr. Jan Sherman is a teaching professor at the Sinclair School of Nursing, nationally renowned for her expertise and research on neonates and premature infants. I welcome Dr. Sherman to the podium.
Thank you, Dr. Harris. My very first meeting with Judy was at a facility, at a donation. And Judy came up to me, and I was working at UM St. Louis at the time. And she comes up to me and she says, well, we just can't have that. And I think we just cannot have that has been Judy's mantra from the time she has been here at the School of Nursing. You have heard over and over the accolades that Judy has brought to us. We were ranked #1 in the nation, the millions in dollars of donations, the things that she has done for our School of Nursing and brought us to the forefront of the entire United States for this. But my perspective of Judy is that she has always given her faculty wings and let us fly. She sees the gifts in each one of us. We all have gifts. And I see so many of the nursing faculty here, and Judy is amazing at finding those gifts within each person and enhancing those and making us the absolute best that we can possibly be for her. And I love her. I will miss you, Judy. You're amazing. But yes. So my goal, if I am ever in that position, I am going to model myself after Judy Miller. And if any situation arises, my first thought will be, what would Judy do? So again, I love you, Judy. You have been one of the best deans I have ever worked with, and you have taken Sinclair School of Nursing to amazing heights, and we will always be here for you and love you. So thank you.
Susan Devaney is the president of the Sinclair School of Nursing Alumni Organization, having assumed that leadership in the summer of 2017. Susan.
Dr. Miller, on behalf of the Nursing Alumni Organization, I want to thank you for your years of service and leadership. You have worked tirelessly. The Nursing Alumni Board, the members, have very much enjoyed working with you. We will miss you. And if you would come up, I have something special for you. From this day forward, you are an honorary alumna of the University of Missouri Sinclair School of Nursing.
Oh, thank you. Michael Brown is the president of Euronet and spouse of Development Board member Millie Brown. The Browns have been special friends of the Sinclair School of Nursing, providing the largest gifts ever received. We are very grateful to them and their family. The Browns' daughter, Julia, is also present. Mr. Brown?
Okay, this is going to be a tough one because, I've got all these pages because Judy provided us all with the same pages. So I've got to somehow sort and sift through this and make sure I don't repeat myself too much. So, and I haven't known Judy for a long time, just a few years. I'd like to tell you about the time that she and I and Millie sat back and threw down a bunch of shots of tequila with beer chasers down at the bar down the street, but that would kind of be a lie. So I'll just have to start from here and kind of go from there. But I'm the last guy on. By the way, I'm the last guy. So if you can get through me, you got it. Okay. So I'm the last guy here. I'm not a nurse, but I am a human, and I'll talk a little bit about. And I run a company, and just like she ran the nursing school, and so there's a lot of parallels here I'd like to talk to you about. But as I'm not a nurse and I am a human, all humans kind of have the same things. Judy understood what people value most in their lives. This really set forth her vision. What we value most is probably our family, our friends, our security, and I'm sure our health. So good health is right up there in the very top, and as you get a little older, it becomes topper and topper and topper, right? So our health and the quality and the precision and the compassion to which it is delivered to us is a very big thing. And she understood that really is what drove her passion, her vision, her relentlessness. All these same words that I have in mind have already been said before. She came here 9 years ago, and it was a good school. My wife used to brag about the fact that this was the #1 school of nursing, and this is where she graduated from. But to continue that legacy, Judy knew that more work was needed. This wasn't just like resting on laurels kind of thing. So within 2 years, she started those 2 doctorate programs and now have like 250 people included in them. And that isn't just because it looks good. It's important, obviously, because you're going to get better national rankings, okay? But from a purely practical matter, advanced degrees raise the standards of the bachelor degrees with better staff, understanding the new methods and technologies to deliver healthcare in the modern age. These 900 nursing programs that we hear about in the country, we're ranked #1. That's pretty freaking amazing. And it's even more amazing that this school was new 40 years ago. Well, maybe a few years, something like that when my wife went there. I'm not supposed to say. 35 years ago, 30 years ago. I may not have a ride home tonight. But for the last decade or so, it's been run on a shoestring budget, and still these additional programs have been added, and the quality of the nursing staff and students have not gone down. So as we mentioned, I like it from kind of an entrepreneur's point of view. She started those graduate programs, she put them online, she made some money. And that's good because she needed the money to just keep it going. So what words do I have to describe Dean Miller? Some of the words we've said before. She is certainly a visionary because she realized that excellent faculty alone will not suffice in keeping up with the changes in modern healthcare. The stunning advances that we've seen in healthcare technology are not abating, and we have to keep up with those on the teaching side as well. And unfortunately, technology costs money. And so nursing schools with their complex equipment, their simulators, and their facilities need to keep moving forward. So immediately, Dean Miller began her campaign to raise money somehow to expand the nurse and modernize the nursing facility that we have here, knowing that it's going to cost tens of millions of dollars. So that's pretty tough. That's pretty tough. We need a facility that'll meet today's technical requirements. And the cold hard fact is that the quality of Sinclair School of Nursing nurses are in too short of a supply right now around the country, and particularly in rural areas. This is why I don't understand why the state of Missouri doesn't give you a boatload of money tomorrow, because we need it. You know, at current graduation rates, tens of thousands of nurses are going to be short in a few years. Actually, they're kind of short now. We're importing them from other countries because there's not enough people to go around, or we end up subjugating ourselves to nurses who aren't as well trained. And if you've ever been in the hospital, I was 2 summers ago, I could tell a good nurse from a BSN from a non-BSN. There is a big difference. So as supply of these nurses stay stagnant and demand increases with the aging and long-lived population, we've got a problem on our hands, and it's only going to get worse. So these cramped facilities that Judy has to live within are not going to make it long-term. I mean, we can put out those 70 nurses a semester, less than 150 a year, but we need tens of thousands more. Obviously, we can't do them all in this one school, but we should be able to do our part. It's hard work, for us to do this. I kind of look at it and I say, where are you going to get this money, Judith? And she says, well, she talked about all the things that you guys have talked about, how she's increased the donations from alumni and so forth, and we've got the J School guy over here, and he's over here. He's got famous broadcasters in his alumni, and he get big money from them. Although 2/3 of them are getting fired for sexual harassment nowadays. I sure hope none of them came from this school, okay? I mean, we're losing about 2 a day, so. And then we've got the B school grads who go on to Wall Street and they make a lot of money, and we've got the engineering school graduates who become captains of industry, But that is a challenge. And the problem that we have in kind of blunt terms is, usually nursing graduates who focus on care, compassion, and doing the right thing, these nurses don't have big purses. So you can't get those tens of millions of dollars from your alumni versus everybody else's alumni. So it is really challenging. And Dean Miller wants to make this and keep this the best school in the country. So she has been able to raise $15 million so far. That's definitely way farther than anybody ever imagined that I think she could get. And she has made this thing this project very important. This vision isn't really the end of Dean Miller, though. We all know her. She's dynamic. She's charismatic. She's all those words that everybody said. She is passionate. And one thing nobody mentioned is she's wicked smart. You talk to her, and all of a sudden you sit back and you think, whoa, yeah, she's got that one. She's worked both the community, the legislature, the University of Missouri bureaucracy to share her vision. Like everybody said, everybody knows that what she is dynamic about. And her passion has overwhelmed so many and is so authentic that we are well on our way to getting that wish. Right now, out of the hundreds of projects that are on the wish list for University of Missouri, a revitalized and expanded Sinclair School of Nursing is in the top 5 of all the UM campuses and in the top 2 of this campus. So how does the little School of Nursing, the little, mouse that roared, get to this position? Her vision is becoming a reality. This new dean, whoever that may be who follows you, is going to see the opening of this new facility. But I will tell you, without Judith Miller, I sincerely doubt it would have been realized. We all know Judith. She is, look at her. She's small in size, but she's like a frickin' stick-up dynamite. On one hand, you're kind of excited about it. On the other hand, you're kind of afraid to sit next to it, You know, there's... So this dynamite has been exploding here for about 9 years. This potential energy turning into kinetic energy is just all over the UM campus here. She's going back to cold Wisconsin. But let me tell you, she and her personality are oozing with warmth as it always has been, with both warmth, humility, and accomplishment along the way. Millie and I, like so many others, were captivated by her energy, her vision, and this warmth. Judith Miller has the resilience, the determination, and the grit. You know, much like Washington with his ragtag army who created this country, and everybody said there's no way he could win against the most powerful army in the world, which was Britain. She knew how to win against all odds. I'm telling you, we've got a new chancellor here. I've met him now a couple of times. Your predecessors, I would wager, were probably dodging Judith's calls and her calls to action, while secretly being in awe of her persistence and diligence. And she just likes to try to do the impossible. Just tonight, we said, "What are you going to do when you retire?" And she says, "I'm going to write a book. You know, I'm a published author." I didn't know that. She's going to write a book on hope, because she says hope is what helps us get past the challenges of life. And doesn't that just sound like Judy? Judith Miller's leadership will be sorely missed. There's no doubt about it. She has impacted so many lives over the last 9 years in so many ways. You know, students, faculty, staff, and others. You came to Missouri, I'll tell you, Judith, you made a difference. I want to thank you on behalf of us, alumni, and the University of Missouri for all that you've done, and we wish you well in your future endeavors. Thank you very much.
And I have just a few words on behalf of the faculty and staff from the Sinclair School of Nursing. Dean Miller has provided leadership to our great school for almost a decade. To describe Judy and her accomplishments, as we've seen today, in a few words is not easy to do. However, several descriptors come to mind: driven, passionate, resilient, innovative, and of course, leader. We, the faculty and staff at the Sinclair School of Nursing, thank you for your relentless dedication to our school and hope you will accept this gift. Got a gift, Judy, as a token of our gratitude and appreciation. We thank you and we will miss you.
Wow, you're still here. I'm so surprised, because thank you so much. I really appreciate all of you being here, and I am so appreciative of all of you and the words and the lots of jokes. Those are really jokes, most of that stuff. They're not true at all, really. But I thank you, because I know you had to think about what you were going to say, and I really appreciate it. I was really worried about Ken Dean and Dave Kerpius. And it's true that I did buy all those Creek wines. I don't think I ever did get the right one, but this is... when my assistant Linda Huther encouraged me to go ahead and have this celebration, I expressed concern that I didn't know if anybody would show up, and I actually said, well, maybe we should put an ad in the paper and just have, people off the street. We could just celebrate together. So. But that didn't happen, because all of you came, and just under 200 of our guests came. I know that people have come and gone here, but anyway, you've really countered my concern, and you've made my day, so thank you so very much. I want you to meet some of my family. Most of the disruptive little people seem to be in the hall somewhere, so when they come back, I'll introduce them. But my oldest daughter, Kimberly Miller, is from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Kim, can you just stand up? And you don't need to clap, but she's a... She's an artist and is the department chair for fine arts in the Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design. Her spouse, Peter Barakman, and their daughter, Lily, are unable to be present. I'll skip my youngest daughter, who is, we don't even know where they are, but we've texted them, we've tried, but we don't know. At least they're not screaming in the room. David Mckenna is here, who is my son-in-law. David, can you stand? He's the spouse of my middle daughter, Elizabeth, from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. David is an executive vice president for a national nonprofit called the New Teacher Project. Elizabeth and their daughter, Doja, are also unable to be here. So I want to thank a few other guests that are here. You've already had an introduction of Chancellor Alex Cartwright. I thank you so much for your presence here, and his wife, Melinda. Maybe you could wave, Melinda, because they didn't get to see you. I've been so impressed with his passion and his advocacy for this campus to make us better in so many ways. President Choi is not here, but he expressed his regrets several times personally to me, and so that really means a lot, that he cares about our school and all of us in it. Brian Foster is here, and I want Brian to stand, because Brian took a chance on me and hired me in August of 2008. And Brady Deaton was the chancellor at that time, who also approved my hire. So Brady is there. And he's there with Dr. Ann Deaton, who's a friend of the school and who also has a courtesy appointment in the Sinclair School of Nursing. So thank you both. You don't have to applaud for each of these. I just want you to know that there are other university administrators and leaders in the room, including Tom Hiles as the Vice Chancellor for University Advancement. I don't know if Marshall Stewart is here or not, but he's the Vice Chancellor for Extension and Engagement. Kevin McDonald was here he's the Vice Chancellor for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. And Jonathan Cartwright is the CEO of University Healthcare. So those people are also here. Mark McIntosh responded that he was going to be here, and there he is. Mark is here. He is the Vice President for Research and Economic Development. So thank you to all of you. There are other select donors here who've traveled some distance, and they include Dr. William and Mary Lou Nash, who are here from Elizabethtown, Kentucky. That is a big effort, and I so appreciate their being here. So where are you, Bill and Mary Lou? He may want to tell you a story about how I convinced him to be a donor over the hood of his car, or was it a truck, in the parking lot. So you just ask him, but it's sort of not true, I'm sure. Also here are Steve and Sally Richardson from Plano, Texas. And Steve and Sally have endowments for us, and so we're really grateful for you to make this trip and come. Thank you so much. So we have guests from Chicago and St. Louis and Kansas City. Sam and Eleanor Farrell are here from California, Missouri. Sandra Mellinger is here from Kansas City, and she's a Jefferson Club trustee. So maybe you could wave so they know who you are. She's here with her husband, Dick. And many others have traveled here, as I said, from cities, Kansas City and St. Louis. The Dean of UMSL is here, Susan Dean Barr, the Dean of UMSL School of Nursing. So thank you, Susan. And I want to have a special thank you to Richard Miller, who has supported so many initiatives in our School of Nursing, including our Safe Practices Room and providing funds for our new building. So Richard, can you stand? And again, thank you to Michael and Millie Brown and their family for their generous support of our school. He has intense passion and a love for what we do, and I'm so appreciative of you, Michael and Millie, and your family. They've made the largest gift that our school has ever received, so thank you very, very much. So, I want to thank current and past deans, and if I keep reading everybody's name, you'll all be listed. So I just want to thank you all again, and my dean colleagues as well. When I accepted this appointment in August of 2008, I committed to my family that I'd stay 5 years. However, after immersing myself fully into this academic life, the richness of this university and all that it provides, the academic, intellectual stimulation, I fell in love with it all. My oldest granddaughters were 7 when I left Milwaukee, and now they're 17. So that brings to mind a brief verse, and it's called, "Some Things You Cannot Recover." You cannot recover a stone that is thrown, or words that are said, an occasion that is missed, and time after it is gone. So I need to use time now for family, for not missing occasions, for responding to other opportunities that might include writing that book, which is really on my list, and many other ventures. I want to use time to renew a sense of wonder about beauty that surrounds us, appreciating classical music, works of art, and be filled with wonder over varied events like sunsets, seeds that mature into fabulous plants, and the thrill of downhill skiing, and many more. To manage my own time for the first time in a few decades of being an administrator was going to be a real gift. So I want to interrupt my comments right now while the little children are somewhat settled in their seats. And I want you to meet my youngest daughter, Patricia Fitzgerald Strauch. Can you stand up, or is it possible? Patricia is a marketing manager for Adidas in Portland, Oregon. So she traveled here from Portland with her 2 children, Truman Patrick, who's 3. He's very energetic. I guess he wants to stand up too. Oh, maybe not from David's help. And my other granddaughter, her daughter Stella Fitzgerald Strauch, who's here and she's 5. So thank you for coming back in. Each year we've had a motivational theme at the Sinclair School of Nursing, and those themes have varied from School on the Move, Reaching New Heights, Number One for a Reason, and most recently the theme was Choosing Greatness, and it was based on Jim Collins and Morton Hansen's latest book, Great by Choice. Choosing greatness means we had a fanatical discipline to achieve goals. We are not deterred by challenges, and we adopt innovations that are supported by evidence. The Sinclair School of Nursing is successful on all of these dimensions. My goal has been to live life fully, to throw myself wholeheartedly into whatever I'm involved with or charged to do, not just to merely exist, but to really thrive. As Maya Angelou expresses, to thrive with a dose of passion, some humor, and hopefully grace and style. Living life fully sometimes involves difficult decisions. And one of my difficult decisions is to separate from an institution that is beloved to me. I want to be able to say someday that I have had a life fully lived. But in order to do that, I need to engage in some other pursuits. You have given me an opportunity for my lifetime here at Mizzou, an opportunity to put my heart and soul into making a difference. I want to assure the faculty and staff that our mutual accomplishments and any accolades that I have received are due to your dedication and complete support. And I thank you for that. And I thank all of you for being here. I don't know if there's more food and wine and whatnot, but maybe we have each other to enjoy. So thank you so much.